Here I have the December Freshwater Bass and Yellas Tackle Club box. The temperature's warming up, Christmas is close. The surface action is really starting to pump. So this time we've included two different surface options, both frogs, which I love because frogging is my favorite way to fish for any species, be it cod, jacks, barra, bass, anything, whatever, frogs. Even friggin' throw a frog at tuna if you must. A lot of fun. We've included two different frog options for you here this month. We're going to start off with one from our mates at Chase Baits Australia here. This is the bobbin frog. Tiny little weedless frog profile, super lifelike action. As soon as you see this, you're going to realize why I'm saying this. It's got super realistic legs on the back, which extend and retract back to its normal position. So as you twitch this through the water, the legs are going to look like they're kicking, kick, kick, kick. And it's got little arms on the front, which sort of sit down in front of it, which do the same thing on each twitch. So you're going to work this really slow. Cast it up into your snag, twitch, twitch, pause. That leg's it's just going to look like it's going kick, kick, pause, just float there. Waiting for a big bass to come up and crunch it. Great little option there for throwing surface frogs for a super lifelike action. Or if you want something a little bit different, then we've got the River to Sea Baby Bully 45. So this thing is like your traditional skirted leg frog in a small profile to suit our Aussie natives, hence the Aussie bass that we're going to be targeting with this one here. With the skirted legs, it's great to leave this on the paws as well. Those skirted legs will pull the back of the lure down deep, making sure that the weedless hooks are sitting up. Gives you a great chance to snag and hook, get those hooks in nice and deep so you don't actually drop the fish. This one here can work a little bit quicker as well. You're going to fish it a lot like a little stick bait or a little pencil bait. You're going to twitch as you wind, and this will just make it dance across the top with those pretty little skirted legs on the back. But like the bobbin frog, make sure you add in a lot of pauses as well, especially when you're close in or tight into that structure. So cast it up while I'm here, great for skipping, awesome skipping lures. Even skip it up under your snags, pause, let the rings get away, because a lot of times on the pause, but before you even retrieve it, Bass and Yellas is going to come up and have a look at this. They may not hit it yet, but they're going to come up and have a look. As soon as you do your first few twitches, bang, you could be on. Now, if you haven't got any interest in the first big pause or the second big pause, that's when you start working the lure a little bit more. So twitch, twitch as you wind, do 3-4 twitches, pause again in case they're following it out, give them another chance to look at it, then continue with that winding, twitching, just like a pencil bait or just like a little stick bait. Perfect. So two little frog options there. In sort of one you can work a little bit faster, one a little bit slower, it's a little bit more lifelike. Both a lot of fun. Fishing frogs is my favorite way to fish for just about any species. Then obviously as the sun starts to come up, or if you're fishing those middle of the day hours when they're not really going to hit surface, we've included a few different options here. So from Z-Man, we've got Z-Man, the original chatterbait. So this is essentially this little chatterbait blade with a weighted head on the front on a soft plastic. Just a little soft plastic chatterbait, not your skirted, typical skirted style. This is on a little paddle tail, or in this case, this is on a little curl tail plastic. So that tail is always going to be rippling and doing its action, while the blade on the front is just going to be vibrating, creating a lot of disturbance in the water, a lot of flash, and hopefully attracting a lot of attention. Chatterbaits are fairly snag resistant, so you can flick these up into some overhangs or work them along some laydowns. That's some fallen timber or something as well. Going to be great for that. It does also come with a backup soft plastic as well, so there's an extra soft plastic in the package. So if your first one's gotten a bit ripped up from catching a few fish, you can whack another plastic on there as well and keep fishing it and catching some more. So that's the Z-Man original chatterbait. Now we've got two different hard bodies this month. One's a shallower diver and one's a deeper diver. We're gonna start off with the shallow diver with a little Gamoku crank. So this is the Gamoku shallow crank from Storm Lures. So this is essentially a little fat or chubby style hard body, tiny little bib on it, so it's only gonna dive down fairly shallow. So maybe if your surface bite has slowed down and you're fishing those edges, or you're fishing over some submerged weed and you don't want to swim through the weed, this is going to be a great option for that. Because it only dives down shallow, you can fish this over top of the weed. So any bass or yellows that are sitting down in that weed, sitting there looking up, will see this little presentation swim past them and might not be able to resist it. Once you move into deeper water or deeper drop-offs along the edges, that's when you're going to jump over to this one. This is the CZ Crazy Shad. I've got this one here in a mirror Wakasagi color. So this thing is like a longer, thinner minnow style profile with a much bigger bib on it as well. So you can rip these down, crank these down to a deeper part of the water column, which obviously if that sun's up high and the fish are dropping down lower, gonna be a great time to start throwing this, ripping it down deep. Throw in a bunch of pauses as well. Let it sit there in their face, just annoying them before you continue the wind. Now, if they are on fire, maybe it's a more humid day and they're not so lethargic, you can just do a straight roll with these as well. Cast out, twitch down, then straight roll, straight back to your kayak or straight back to your boat and fish it that way too. It's gonna be perfectly fine for that. But that's it for the Bass and Yellas box this month. So you got your two hard bodies, you got your chatterbait, and two different frog options, which I absolutely love. But if you want to check out the freshwater Bass and Yellas box, or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you. Merry Christmas, and welcome to the club.